All right, we are live. So, Jeff, so I'm really excited to introduce Jeff Wilhems. He is a superstar in real estate. Gosh, you sell what? What are you up to now? 700 homes a year?
I think the team will land somewhere between 700 and 800 this year. Yeah,
Wow,
that's a
incredible,
great pace.
incredible.
Thank you.
And so we're excited to interview you because you introduced us to EXP and it really changed our lives. And we know, well, I know EXP changed your lives. So tell us a little bit how your journey started, kind of what got you in real estate, and eventually what made you, I mean, because you had a successful real estate company with a franchise with Remax, and you left and came to EXP. So I want to hear all about it.
Well, my goodness. I mean, how far back do you want me to go? I'm kind of getting old.
Well, we don't have all day, but.
Yeah. No. You know what? Honestly, I think back to when, let's see, when we first really started our real estate journey, I was actually a mortgage lender. And I was looking for ways to offer more value for my real estate agent partners, so then in hopes they would reciprocate possibly with maybe their mortgage referrals. If I could help them sell more real estate, then I thought maybe that would separate me between other lenders that they might currently be using or thinking about using, and because I didn't have any money really to be offering to pay for advertising and all this kind of stuff that I knew some of the others that were well established in our market had already been doing for years with many of their relationships. So I thought, well, if I could bring them pre-qualified buyers or find sellers for them possibly, and then they would see that as some extra value, then they would perhaps want to use give me a shot with their clients that were looking for mortgage financing. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I thought it made a lot of sense, so I started investigating who in the world was coaching real estate agents, because I thought maybe I should learn what they should learn or what they were learning, and of course, the more that I would know about their industry, the better I could serve my clients. And so I started reading a magazine one day, and it was and I think it was like Realtor Magazine or something like that. And I read about this guy named Craig Proctor, who was up in Toronto, Canada. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Craig.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's pretty much a legend in the industry, and so I signed up as a lender to go to a few of his events. And I went to this one event in Toronto, Canada. I flew up there and went to this event. And there were about 3,000 real estate agents there. They were all getting up on stage and talking about how much money they were making and how long they'd been in the business. And honestly, it just got me so darn excited about real estate that I got back and was still in the mortgage business. But I was like, man, I wish that I had a real estate team. And my wife was at home, stay-at-home mom at the time here in Tucson, and raising our daughter, who was in elementary school. I think she was probably 10 or 11 years old at the time, and our daughter. And so I just asked Marsee one day. I said, "Look, would you be interested in getting your real estate license? At least if you got your real estate license, then when I got a referral for an agent, then you could send it as a referral and then earn a referral fee on that." And then that way it didn't look like that I was in competition with the agents in town, because my wife was an agent and I really was not, I was still in lending. And so she said she'd be interested in doing that. And I went to real estate school as well, just to get my license. And, I literally decided that it was time to take the school test and all this kind of stuff. Then we found out our home back in Indiana, where we're from, where you guys are from, in Greenwood, Indiana, had sold. And Marsee was like, "Hey, I need you to come back and deal with this." Because mind you, she hadn't even moved out here yet. I came out here first, and then I moved them out. And we, that's a whole other story about how we got out to Arizona. But long story short, and I'm not making it a short story, she got her real estate license, and it wasn't long after that one day I had these buyers. I met them in my office. I got them pre-approved to get their VA financing, and I asked my wife if she had this little key to get people into the houses, and she goes, I don't even know what it's called. I said there's a key in it or whatever. And she goes, electronic lockbox key. I said, yeah, that's it. And she said, she goes, no. And I said, well, I told these people you're an awesome real estate agent. They love me, but they want you to show them houses this afternoon. Don't worry, I'll go with you, honey. Just it'll all be cool. And she goes, you did what? And so we ended up going out with this couple. Their names are Tammy and Eric Perez. I'll never forget. Great couple. We went out and showed them a couple properties. I mean, look, I went to Craig Proctor's seminar, and I heard him talk about how to show houses and, pick these houses out, this and that.
It's easy, right?
Yeah, it can't be that hard, right? Well, this was back in, I think, the fall of 2004. And so we went out. Marsee showed them 3 or 4 houses. They liked the second house, I believe, and we went back for one more showing, and they, I'm using the whole, what would it take to make it well, if it's a 9, what would it take to make this house a 10? And then they could visualize themselves in the house, and I said, well, hey, Marsee, isn't this the point where you go back to the office and see if the numbers make sense? And if they love it at this price, you probably could get it for them even a better deal, right? She goes, well, wouldn't hurt if we won't know unless we try. So I still remember her calling her broker, and she goes, hey, Becky, this is Marsee. I got great news. And Becky goes, what, Marsee? She goes, well, the great news is I'm going to write my first contract. And she goes, well, that is great news. She goes, but there's bad news. And Becky goes, what's that? She goes, I'm about to write my first contract. I don't know what I'm doing.
I have no idea.
Well, these people think that Jeff's told these people I'm an expert. She said, well, bring him into the office, Marsee, and I will take it from there. Introduce me as your personal assistant. And oh my God, what broker in their right mind would ever do that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
And, so we did, and Marsee introduced her as her assistant. She meets Eric and Tammy. She helps them write this offer. Long story short, the offer gets accepted, and then I've got their VA loan closed. If you believe this, we get the VA appraisal, we get the loan closed. Everything done front to back for these guys in about 3.5 weeks. Marsee makes about a $9,000 commission check, and then she goes, "Do you have another one?" And so it literally started that way, and then I just kept doing some lead generation as a lender. I would tell people that I was the lender. My wife Marsee, though, because I did a lot of leads with this company called House Values. Do you remember that company?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I would buy these leads, these house value leads, and then they would have houses that they wanted to sell. And then I'd say, look, if you're looking to buy a home, then, my wife's an agent as well. And if I know you're working with my wife, then I could give you a smoking deal on your mortgage. Well, because we don't need to make money on the mortgage side if she's making money on the real estate side. So it was kind of this whole natural thing that we had going on. And then I realized that if you really want to make any real money in real estate, you had to be on the listing side of the business. So that we just kept doing more and more listings, but we needed this buyer agent. And Marsee goes, "You really think we should hire a buyer agent?" I said, "I don't think there's any question we need to hire a buyer agent because you need to be on the listing side of the business." And mind you, 3 months into the business, she's already tired of running buyers around, right? so start working on the listing side of the business. So we hired our now. Here we are, 2020, 17 years later, the very first buyer agent that we hired, Bert Jones, he's our sales manager on our team today. So Bert is. By the way, you'll like this, you'll appreciate this, Amanda, being from Purdue. Bert is an academic All-American former golfer on the team at Purdue University. So
nice. Yeah. I talked to Bert a couple times, a good old Hoosier, but he went to the right university. Let's get that straight, right?
Yeah. Well, I get it, but I was going to leave this out, but I got my
No.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, I'm a former golfer too. I quit at least once a week.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just the nature of that game. That's for sure. But, guys, really, I think that what we realized very early on in our real estate career, when it was just Marsee, myself, my sister Julie was our assistant. Because, if you didn't get it put into the database, it didn't exist. We kind of learned that through the whole Proctor thing.
Wow.
with Jim Casey back. I'm going all the way back in the day with Agent Office and all that kind of stuff before there was Top Producer and all these other things that are out there now. But I guess really what we found very quickly was that we didn't know what we really didn't know when we were building our team. And so then we read a book called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Anybody that's ever known Gary Keller, you guys do. That book became, honestly, even though we were red, white, and blue, 100% RE/MAX, that book came out, and I was just blown away by the interviews that were in there, and many of these just rock star agents that were interviewed in that book. And if you've never read the book, every real estate agent should read that book. You don't necessarily need to go to KW, but you should read the book. And because here's what spawned up from me reading the book was I not only read those interviews, but many of those people that were interviewed, I reached out to personally. And over the years, I've become great friends with them. I simply told them that I admired their success, read about them, and wondered if I could come out to their office sometime and be a fly on their wall and take notes and even make a contribution either to them or to their favorite charity. And at the time, all I could really afford was $1,000 or a couple $1,000. But they seemed to be so honored that I thought so much of them that they would let me come out and visit them in their market, check out their office. And I always made a promise that I would never be in their backyard competing with them or anything like that, so they could be open about sharing. Much different than our model that we have now, which we could get into later.
Right.
Bottom line was this: those people saved me so much time and so much money by not having to learn from their mistakes. They already told us what the winning formula was. All we had to do was go back and copy what works. And I think that we've just been really good at being great copiers. You know, my R&D department is not spending our money in testing unproven methods. It's spending money to find the right people to learn from their mistakes, so I can rip off and duplicate whatever it is that they've done, because that's our R&D department. But
I love that. You've said that from the beginning, and I hear you. It maybe took me a while to get that, but I hear you.
Well, you know, and you guys have been so great at it too. And I got to just say that I think that when you don't try to reinvent, I mean, everybody can put their own spin on things, right? You always need to put your own little sauce on it, put things in your own words. But at the end of the day, I really don't. I don't know that there's a lot of stuff that's new in marketing. As I went down the road, I've even realized that a lot of the stuff that I saw in the Craig Proctor seminars, Craig didn't really invent it either. He just repackaged it a little bit or retooled it. Like a guaranteed sale program wasn't anything that he created. It was something that Dan Gooder from the Gooder Group created. Most of those 27 deadly mistakes to make, or 11 seller mistakes, or 10 questions you must ask your realtor. I found out Dan Gooder wrote most of that stuff, and Dan Kennedy wrote a lot of the other stuff. And then and who was it? ERA back in the 70s was doing the guaranteed sale program. So it's not really like these things are original. It's just somebody takes it, they package it, they put their own spin on it, and then they market it. And for years we've done stuff like that, like, I'll sell your home or I'll buy it, the guaranteed sale program in our market, or Pat Hyben, one of his famous things that I heard him say all the time was and then I found out he was copying from Russell Shaw, was, I'm not bragging, I'm applying for a job, I want to be your realtor. Little taglines you use in real estate commercials and stuff. But I don't know, I'm probably getting way off track, but
no, that's all good stuff. And you're right. It's just repackaging, put your spin on it, and hey, make it yours modern, right? Just kind of modern it up too.
So fast forward to, so you're with RE/MAX, right? You're doing really well. So why would you ever make a change to EXP?
Gosh, that was that's a really good question. I think it's because, first of all, we were with RE/MAX. We had 2.5 years left on our franchise agreement, and a friend of mine called me and asked us to talk him off the ledge from leaving his current company because he saw this new real estate model, and my job was to talk him off the ledge and not make a bad decision. And of course, me being the helper that I am, I agreed to get on a webinar to check out this new company and what they were all about for my friend, so he wouldn't make a bad mistake, because he was formerly at RE/MAX, but then he went to Keller Williams, and he was a team leader, had about 500 agents there, and that he was responsible for. And I said, well, look at, if you want to be talked off the ledge from leaving that company, let me get Marsee on this webinar with me. Little did I know, I was probably just being reeled in a little bit. I don't really know that at this point, but I know this. I couldn't talk him off the ledge. In fact, after I watched the webinar, I was so excited for what the possibilities might be for us down the road that it actually started making me think that, hey, 2.5 years later, when our franchise agreement was up, maybe this is a direction that we should go, but he definitely should take off right now. But we had an agreement, we had to stick with. And then I called my coach, who I think you guys have coached with us, as well, Bob Corcoran. And I said, Bob, I need you. What am I missing here? I need you to watch this. I couldn't sleep. I was so blown away. It's like I've heard Jay Kinder over the years say this, or somebody say, once you see this, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
Once I saw this, I couldn't unsee it. And Bob gave me some put off, like, well, I could get on a call, 2 weeks from today or whatever. And I'm like, no, I can't wait. I need you to do this tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to sleep 2 more nights. And then I want you to look at it. Tell me what I'm missing here. And so he watched it, and he didn't say a lot. But then the webinar ended. We all hung up, and then my phone rings, and it's him. And Bob goes, Jeff, is Marsee there? And I'm saying this for those that know Bob. This is meant with love because I love him. But I'm just kind of like poking fun at Jeff the way he is, all serious. He's like, Jeff, is Marsee there? And I'm like, yeah, Bob, she's right here. They put her on speakerphone. So I put her on speakerphone. He's like, Marsee, yeah, Bob, I'm here. You go, okay, here's the thing. First thing you got to do is you got to call Remax. Find out how much time's left on your franchise agreement. Then you got to change your signs. Then you got to do your printing. Don't forget about your TV and radio. I said, whoa, slow down. You think we need to leave Remax? He goes, well, you got a contract you got to honor, but I'd find out if you can get out of it. I'm just telling you right now, this is gonna be big. And I go, what if it's $250,000 to get out of it? What if it's $500,000? He goes, if it's $500,000, call me back. If it's $250,000 and you don't leave, you are nuts. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, if you can get out of your agreement for $250,000, you need to write him a check, or I'm going to fire you as your client, as your coach. That's how convinced he was that this was that big of a deal. So, I actually made the phone calls. We looked at our agreement, found out we had 2.5 years left on our agreement. We were only on contract for about 10 agents, but in our case, we just decided that after calling, they wanted a check for about $76,500, I believe what it was, and to pay off our agreement. So we weren't breaking any agreement with them or anything. We just agreed to pay it, and we spent another $40,000 to rebrand our team. All of our signs had to be changed out. Our sign on the building, the TV and radio commercials. So we made an investment of over 6 figures to do this, with the understanding that we gave this thing 6 months. If it wasn't going to be the way we wanted it to be 6 months from now, or from that point, then we were going to make our next progression, which was what I thought. When you've sold 4,000 homes in your career, I think you figure the next step was to be an independent. We just be Wilhems Realty or whatever. We didn't really need a franchise, and pay the franchise fee and the cost associated. But you know what? Like I asked Marsee 36 years ago to give me a 6-month contract. Every 6 months, she just keeps renewing our agreement.
Nice.
So,
that's because she's already got you trained.
She totally has me trained. That's for sure. I mean, and I'm the luckiest guy on earth to be married to somebody such a class act like that she is, and such a kind soul.
He's amazing. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, this has been a total team effort, the two of us building our team. And then, of course, we've got amazing leadership. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about our leadership in Marsee Wilhems team and talk about from our operations manager, our squad leader, our squad leaders, our sales manager, our office manager. These people are and our agents. I mean, and support staff. We've got a machine that it's I find it ironic when people, see you be successful. It's like, oh, you guys got it so good. You're so lucky. And luck had nothing to do with it, to be honest with you. It was 17 years of being overnight success.
Right. So you spent over $100,000 to move to EXP. How's that changed your life?
You know what? Here's what's funny. For the first year, it was a little bit of first 9 months was a little bit of a struggle because of my own. I was having some health issues personally, and I kind of let that get in the way. And then there was a lot of growing pains that we had with the company back then. It wasn't like the company. The company you see now with EXP is completely different than the company that it was in 2017 when we onboarded the 1st of January. It just took me about 9 months to really believe that the company would really be everything that they could be. And I didn't really take my mentor's advice at the time, Brent Gove, who kept assuring me, oh, big guy, they'll work that out. They'll get that handled. And I was helping corporate fix a lot of, we were the first big team that was doing a lot of volume. And there were a lot of problems back then in getting their systems. I remember when you guys first got started that there were a lot of growing pains that we had, and as you well know, but we just had faith in the system. And 9 months into it is when I finally got started. So this Labor Day in 2021 will be, the day after Labor Day will be 4 years to the day that we decided to get busy. And I got to say, it's the best thing that we've ever done in our life. And it's not only how did it change our lives, it's how many other lives that we've changed. But to fast forward and think that we brought 14 agents on our team to this little no-name company in Arizona. There were like 8 EXP agents. Nobody had heard of EXP. In fact, when we came over, a lot of people in Tucson thought EXP was our company because we had the big name. Nobody knew who EXP. In fact, Remax didn't even have that big of a name in Tucson. There's another big company, 2 big companies here in town that for the most part, they have. If there are 4,500 agents on our board, I think those 2 companies have about 3,500 agents. And so we have 2 monster behemoth companies here, and the rest of the companies don't have a lot of market presence. Now, EXP finally has, I think we have, 500-600 agents now in our market. But we started with 14, and this, I don't know if that's that board, my wealth chart back there. We have an organization now that's grown to, you guys are obviously included in this, but 3,474 agents as of this morning.
Wow, that's amazing!
It's so mind-boggling.
4 years.
4 years.
Did you ever dream you'd get that big?
It'll be 4 years this Labor Day.
I mean,
that we actually started really building, and think about the power of agents in 8 countries and 3,400 agents, and we're still selling at a high level in Tucson. But if, God forbid, something were to happen in our market, or something were to happen in your market, as you guys know, having this big network of agents all over the place kind of gives you a little insulation from worrying about so much market conditions in Tucson might be a little rough or whatever. Because heck, I just found out today we onboarded 14 agents in India. I'm like, India?
Nice.
Yeah. And then yesterday we had 32 join in Mexico. And so, and they're not even reflected in our numbers yet. I just was talking to agents in our network, and it's crazy how this is expanding. I mean, I got to pinch myself when I think about, how much it's grown. It's just becoming surreal. Rob said when we first got started, hey man, at the end of 5 years, if you guys got 500 agents, that'll be $400,000 a year in residual income. That's way more than you're getting now.
Yeah.
And of course, now I look at, I never thought we'd maybe have 5,000 agents at the end of the
yeah. So you're almost making that in a month.
Yeah, it's well, not quite, but I guess with both businesses, we're definitely there. But it's kind of silly to think about it now. And now it's not even really, it's not about the money. It's about all the people that call me and thank me for sticking with it and helping them, and then they were able to do this and this and this. And I mean, how's it changed you guys' lives? I mean, for real. I mean,
I think that's that's the one thing I love about EXP is the reach is now global, right? We would not be working with you. We would not be business partners with you, in any other structure. It wouldn't work. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it has changed not only our lives, like you said, but then our teams. I mean, they're buying houses, paying off debt. They have bigger visions, right? You think you're thinking big, and then you find out what bigger is, and then you think bigger. So I just feel
I talked to one of your agents yesterday, or I was texting him back and forth. I think he has a new agent coming on in Spain. And, and he's asking me who we have in our network that speaks Spanish that can kind of help him do some calls. And I said, don't worry about him, Just Act. You just set him up. We'll help you get him in. But I mean, how's it changed his life? I mean, he's like networking with people all over the place. I mean, the tragedy of C19 was that so many people's lives were affected in a negative way with it. But then the positive side of it is that with our company being in the cloud and real estate was like not thought of so much as being a cloud-based thing, but then the whole world, because of C19, kind of like started doing business from home, and we're seeing houses being people are going out to houses and they're doing walkarounds and walkthroughs and their video cameras and whatnot. And they're showing people houses that they never even physically set in or stepped foot in, and they're selling them now. And real estate agents are finding out that they're actually more productive by not going into an office and hanging around the water cooler all day and wasting all that money on rent and all this kind of stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, we still have our office, but man, I don't know. I just think we have the perfect model. I was a skeptic a little bit at first. Even though Bob was telling me what he was telling me, I was kind of listening to some naysayers, and we made the move, but I kept going. My first 9 months, I'm like, but what about this? And I was like Mr. Skeptic. And meanwhile, back in the ranch, my buddy Brent Gove, business partner, your business partner, he kept calling and talking to agents. And then they'd call me on the phone all the time. They'd be, we're in. You should join. Well, then I realized later that we knew a lot of the same people. But you know what? Brent, let me tell you, I'm going to brag about my business partner, your business partner. I just talked to him and James yesterday. They have 13,000 agents in their network.
Incredible.
Wow.
13,000. His goal is 50,000 agents. And I know that he's going to get there. And the reason I know that is because we're going to over 1 million agents with this company worldwide. I have no doubt in my mind that that's where we're headed. I mean, 50,000, 55. I found out today we just went over 55,000 agents. That is nothing compared to where we are going. And it's just now gotten to the point with EXP where now we're becoming a household name. But the biggest I think mistake that agents make is that when they first heard about EXP from somebody that maybe didn't have as much credibility in terms of what their mind does. Okay, I'm selling $8 million a year, and this person that I know that's brand new told me about this company I should take a look at, and that person wasn't selling enough homes for that $8 million producer to really pay attention to. So then I just dismissed or I poo-pooed the whole idea without really knowing what it was all about. Now we're finding many of those people that got approached in the beginning are opening their eyes and going, wait a minute, something's going on here. I better check it out. And if they're watching right now and you didn't check it out or you haven't thoroughly checked it out, you need to call Amanda and Rodney right now. After this call, you need to look them up and call them and tell me about EXP. Get them to get you to watch a video, a short video on our company. And then heck, I'll get on the phone and answer questions with you if you need me to. But this is an opportunity.
Yeah, I agree.
What would be the number one thing you would tell an agent that's considering EXP right now? What would you say, man? You just have to come to EXP right now. I know we've got hours and hours of training. We've got the top agents around the country sharing ideas. What's your number one thing that you would tell an agent? You've got to check out EXP.
Well, here's the thing. Regardless whether you think you would be an agent attractor or not, but if you just want to sell more homes, I think you want to be around people that sell more real estate, right? I mean, you need somebody that's been there, done that has the T-shirt, so to speak. Look, if I'm in Indianapolis, for instance, and I want to know somebody that's really selling real estate at a high level, I'm picking up the phone and I'm calling the HER team. Why? Because you guys sell hundreds and hundreds of homes a year. you forgot more about selling real estate than most people know. Amanda, for crying out loud, you've been a coach with Bob Corcoran. I mean, you know so much, and because they would link arms with you, they would be your business partner. You're going to help them learn, avoid the pitfalls and the mistakes that they make being an agent. You're going to help them shorten that learning curve, Rodney. You're going to help them become successful quicker. And if their goal is to sell more real estate, or just be successful selling real estate. The sad thing about real estate is that according to NAR, the National Association of Realtors, a third of the real estate agents that have a license today will not be licensed this time next year. That's the bad news. Wow. And you know why that is, in my opinion? The reason that is because they wait too long to get the right help, or they're not in the right company that has the right alignment. I mean, think of yourself right now. If you're watching this right now and you're in an office and there's top producers in your office, go to those top producers and ask them, hey, I'm brand new in the office. I'm not on your team, but I'm your competition. But would you give me your best listing presentation, your best buyer presentation, your scripts, your dialogues, all of your marketing that you do to be successful? Would you tell me everything that you've learned in the last 15 years to be successful, knowing that I'm going to be your competitor in the next office over? How is that conversation going for those agents in those type of offices? Well, Amanda, I know if I join your business with EXP, I don't even have to join your team. But if I'm an agent and I want to build my own brand and my own identity with EXP, but I don't want to be by myself, I know I could join and hire you or come underneath you guys in Indianapolis or wherever, and you guys are going to be my mentor. You're going to train me. You're going to let me get on your calls. We even let agents that are all around the country dial in and be a fly on the wall in our sales training that we have in Tucson. We don't care. That's the magic of our platform, right? So I don't know, man. Rodney, that's what I would tell a new agent. It's like if you're not in an environment right now that allows you to have mentors that are financially aligned for your best interest to be a successful real estate agent, they're in the wrong place, because who else is really going to care about them and help them but somebody that's financially aligned or encouraged for them to be successful? I mean, we can all say, oh my gosh, I love giving back. I love giving back knowing it's coming back. That's what
two-way street.
It's a two-way street. I remember an agent back in the day in Indianapolis. I'll leave his name out of it, but when I was a lender back in Indianapolis, I remember him coming in and he did a seminar. If you real estate agents if you lenders want to get more referrals from us real estate agents that are tops in our market, I need you. And he writes this one way. He writes this big thing, right? And I don't know if you can see it, but he writes like one way and with an arrow, right? Like a one-way arrow. And he goes, service. It's a one-way street and it's all coming my way. And if you think I'm bringing it back, he said, that's all you ever need to remember if you want to get business from me. And you know what? I always remember that. I look back because that helped me be a better lender back in the day. And it also has helped me when it comes to thinking about our clients. They don't care about reciprocating, but we need to be great at giving great service. But I also know that if I throw all this great service and this great training and I pour everything into a new agent that's in our network, and I got 3,000 agents that get on a Zoom call and they watch this and they learn, then I know that, hey, the cool thing is if they apply what we teach them, they're going to make money. But here's the cool thing. When they are successful, we're going to make money.
Yep.
Does that make sense? So that's our alignment. And we're paid on the gross revenue. EXP gives out 50% of all the money they take in from their splits. 50% of it they pay back out right off the top, gross revenue, in a revenue sharing program that's revolutionary. Nobody has done it.
It makes us all owners.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about how much somebody else is, how many expenses they've ran through their business, and if there's anything left to share in the profits, that aren't there. This is a gross revenue model, and you get stock, and oh my God, I mean, we got a couple $1 million worth of value in stock since we've been here. It's just what's happened. It's
life changing. I know you opened up your playbook for us. We do open up our playbook for everybody. That's, I hear collaboration, and here in this culture, it's beyond true. It's surprising sometimes how much people are willing to give. So that's what I know from you and Marsee, and I think that trickles down, right? We lead by example and share, and then it just creates this entire culture of giving. So
if I could give you guys both big hugs through the camera right now, I would be, because that's I totally feel the same way about you, and that's another thing that's so special with our company is that we truly do have a family that we're all helping, and it's one big family, one big fire. We're all taking our fire, we're all putting it into the fire at the same time, and we're making one big fire because regardless where you are in the world, and when you join EXP, we all share in the profitability of our company because the profitability of the company drives the value of our stock. We're all shareholders in the company. Well, at least you should be buying stock if you're here.
Oh, yeah.
We max contribute every month. They allow us to take 5% of what we make. We buy stock with it at a 10% discount. And it's just phenomenal how that adds up. And I mean, my goodness, we're getting ready to have an agent celebration for the Marsee Wilhems team locally. It starts at 4 o'clock out here, Pacific tonight. It's over at the Hilton El Conquistador, and we're going to give out our awards to the team. We kind of do it different. A lot of people do them in the spring. We do them kind of later, but we're going to award our agents and our leadership team and just get together tonight. And it's so cool. But when I think about what's happening with us and our team, it's allowed us. Marsee and I, EXP has allowed us the freedom to where she can play golf 4 or 5 days a week if she wants to now. We spend 6 months of our year living in Puerto Rico now. Heck, we're both actually Puerto Rican citizens now. And it's just, it was a tax play for us. And, but we're just totally blown away with, I don't know, just what this has done for our team, our agents. We have one of our agents on our team that she called us the other day and almost in tears to find out that she had almost $500,000 worth of stock.
Oh yeah.
That she had. I mean, she was just blown away. She hadn't even looked at her stock account, and then she said, look at what I've been able to save since I've been here. And that was never going to happen when we were with our other company. And I'm not going to, talk about them or anything because they were a great company at the time, and we loved them and still love many people that are there. That some are coming here, some are never coming here, and that's okay too. But I don't know, guys. It's been life-changing for us, to say the least. Glenn Sanford built an amazing model, surrounded himself with some pretty big time winners, and then people like the legend and Gene Frederick and Rob Flick and Sheila Fageron and Brent Gove. I mean, my gosh, we just can't get much better than that when it comes to being towards the top of the company and leadership.
Well, and how I know Marsee plays 4 times a week because she's beaten both of us lately.
Yeah, you know what? She did tell me she shot at 88. I mean, I told her, she's she has beat me before. She beat me twice.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to start working on my golf game because I'm kind of not really digging that too much.
Now it's time to get serious again, huh? I know.
What's cool? We play golf with you guys, and it's so fun to know that she loves the game so much and is having a blast. That literally she could tee it up. We both can tee it up, and that was our lifelong goal, to go out and be able to travel. I mean, there was this couple, and I don't know if they, if saying their name would be a big deal, but Jan and Joe Yoakum from Greenwood, Indiana. We were members of the Greenwood what was it called? Royal Oak Country Club back in the day. I think it's called Dyes Walk now. But they were down there, and Marsee and I, 20 years ago, just totally admired this couple. They were about our age now. They were in their 50s. But all they did, Joe and Jan, was play golf all the time. They would take these golf trips around the world. They'd play together. And we kind of told ourselves that that was kind of our lifelong goal, was to just travel, play golf, visit people. We did that a little bit last year, stopped in to see you guys. Then we went up to Whistling Straits and played Black Wolf Run and Whistling Straits. Then we went to Hazeltine. Other friends of ours live at Hazeltine. Then we made our way out west and played in South Dakota, down through Vail and Colorado, and then back home. And it was just an amazing trip. But the whole thing was just golf. And then, knowing that I could take off anywhere, and Marsee has gotten good enough to where she doesn't embarrass herself. So that means she doesn't get frustrated around me at times. We all do that. But it's so cool to love something like that, to where we have something in common that we can now do as we enter another chapter in our life, and we can just travel the world once COVID's all done, and we can start feeling like it's everybody's feeling safer and all that to start traveling around the world, because there's so many cool places. Even just around our own country, there's so many great places to see. So, anyway.
So the money truly buys freedom, and freedom to do anything you like doing is what it's all about. The leverage you get.
100%. We decided to get rid of a little of our stock in January, and but instead of blowing it on a boat like I wanted to do.
It was a big yacht. It wasn't a boat. It was a yacht.
No. I believe you guys were there when Marsee lowballed the offer. And then it didn't go through, and I knew it wasn't going to get done. And as it turns out, instead of spending $1 million on a boat, that turned into about $4 million more in cryptocurrency, and now it just keeps growing and growing. And now the money game for us has been won. I mean, it's a matter of now of just changing other people's lives and getting to travel around and do it. And I can't wait till we come and see you guys again. I mean, I want to come see your new pool.
Yeah, you're due anytime.
Yeah, and you guys got a boat too, right? I mean, come on. You guys
should be here in November. November, December.
Not a yacht, a boat.
Yeah, but you got a big boat. It's a big boat. Yeah, now see, another thing too that actually made me happy that Marsee decided to lowball that was because our other good friend, a good friend of yours as well, and many in our company, Gene and Susan, they don't have a yacht. This thing is like almost a cruise ship. I mean, he kind of made a joke about this 51 footer that we wanted to get. He kind of made a joke that he could pull ours around with a little dinghy, like a little dinghy. So he's getting an 80-foot power cat with a 48-foot beam. I mean, just to walk across, it's like that's 48 feet. And it's like 8 bedrooms. I mean, it's EXP has done some seriously crazy things for a lot of agents and continuing to do it. I'm hearing stories of, we had a couple new agents that came in less than a year ago that are going to end up with almost 1,000 agents their first year in our company. And so they're doing things that I never even thought was possible. But again, it's because it's easier now than it was before, because people now that have been around, they're coming back for second and third looks. So they're getting more serious about it. So it's just being in the right place at the right time. And agents that are just coming in new, a whole new third of these agents are looking for mentorships. They're looking for places to come and where can I build my career that's a better place than a place that spends half their money out in sharing their revenue with other agents. And then I can join this network of already successful real estate agents that are aligned to help me be successful. So, man, is this a perfect model? I'm more jacked up now than I was, 3 years ago.
I was just saying, I hear the passion, right? Kind of the revived energy. I love it.
You can't fake this stuff. I mean, you either have it or you don't. And I will say that 2 weeks ago we were up in Scottsdale, and there were about 1,000 agents there at Brent's event. It's a JW Marriott, and of course we got about. I heard we're going to have between 6,000 and 8,000 in Dallas. That's
going to be bad.
Tony Robbins is going to be there. I mean, when does Tony Robbins come into a real estate event? I mean, Rick Gove and Don Hobbs pulled this off, and they've got Tony Robbins to show up at event in Dallas in August. And man, the momentum our company has right now we are unstoppable.
Yeah, Grant Cardone just joined us. What about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the big names just keep coming. Hits just keep coming, man. I mean,
keep coming.
It's crazy. It absolutely crazy. We have two people that are in our company that have become billionaires. I know several people that have become worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I know countless millionaires that EXP has created through their stock and their revenue share. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And future millionaires we're going to have more future millionaires than any real estate company ever, because it's not about starting over from zero every single month. Once somebody's been in this business long enough, they'll realize that you can start over from zero every month for a while. But after a while, something's going to give. You're going to have a tragedy in your family. Something's going to change that's going to require your attention. You're going to have, God forbid, you get sick or hurt, or you're ill yourself and you can't work for any length of time. And most people, the last thing they ever think about is disability income insurance, stuff like that. I mean, you need to think about, what am I doing today that is building me a residual income that is every month, month after month after month, without me having to keep starting over from zero every month. And that's unfortunately what this real estate business does. And now to know that we have so many agents. I had one call me from North Carolina. If I could share one more story. She is so awesome. This gal, and this is not going to sound like, these crazy riches story. This is real world stuff that I'm talking about here. I get this call and she's in tears and she's wanted to thank me. And I said, what are you crying for? She said, I wanted to thank you because I watched one of your calls that you did, and you really hit home about starting over from zero every month. And I took that to heart, because that's exactly been my life for the last 12 years as a real estate agent. I don't have a thing to show for it. I get the business ebbs, it flows, it goes up, it goes down. And it seems like every time I start saving a little bit of money, then there's a big tax bill that comes back later, or there's this expense that comes up, or that expense. I never could save any money. And since I joined EXP 2 years ago, I now have 84 agents in my network, and those 84 agents are now putting an extra $4,000 a month in my network. and she goes, that $4,000 a month covers both of my car payments and my house payment, and I no longer have those three huge monthly bills that I have to worry about. So if I have a 0 month next month and selling real estate, I know my bills are covered by this. And then when I have money coming in, I'm able to take that money and save that and invest that for my future. And I never had that without EXP. That's why I do this.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, yeah. It's just so fulfilling to see what it does for other people, and how just getting a mortgage payment is going to change somebody's life, because it just gives them the freedom, that time freedom, that burden. So I love it. Love that story.
Because Ronnie and Amanda, you know what? I think that is really the more predominant story. I mean, yeah, we have some people, and we're this crazy success story, and we have others, by the way, that just blow our success way away. But the predominant story that I hear that are why we're growing the most are stories like the one I just told you. People that are making an extra $2,000 a month, $4,000 a month, $10,000 a month, because that is not that hard to do with a little focus, following our plan. And of course, you guys know how to do all that. But I implore anybody that's watching this right now, just suspend your disbelief. Pick up the phone, call the herd team in Indianapolis, find somebody that these people can just get them to show you this video. Get them to I mean, my gosh, I just, whatever, send you a private message. How do people reach out to you? I mean, they don't need to call me. Reach out to you guys.
We'll definitely have that in the description. And we would hands down agree with that, because I feel like there are so many misconceptions, especially from like you said, people are coming back now, second and third time. Who knows what they've heard 3-4 years ago?
Do you know what's funny? I got to tell you something. I talked about JW Marriott in Phoenix or Scottsdale maybe 10 days a week, 2 weeks ago, whatever, with Brent's big event. I ran into 3 old-time friends of mine that are in another huge coaching group that I'm in. It's actually a networking group called CEOs of Real Estate. You got to get into this membership. You have to be selling like 400 homes a year just to be invited into this club. There were 3 people there that I talked to 3 years ago about this company, but I never followed up. They were all 3 there, but they were there in our company, and I'm not gonna, we're not gonna see any revenue share for you. They're going in a completely different business center. But here's what's cool: they were like hard nose. And now they've come around, and you know what? They're going to be wildly successful. And guess what? You're going to make money from it. We're going to make money from it because our stock price is going to go higher. We just keep getting more and more and more agents that said no several years ago. And they probably said no for timing, said no for, they weren't really seeing it yet. But,
we needed more buy-in.
They just did.
We were kind of silly. We said no for what, 6-7 months before we decided.
About 8 months.
Yeah. I was going to say you guys saw it quicker than some that are running a big operation the size of yours.
Well, when you're independent, you have your own brokerage. You're like, well, we've got it made. Why do we need to do anything else? And probably the best decision we've ever done. We can't thank you enough. You've done your mentorship alone, talking to agents that we've talked to, helping us with our business, helping us with recruiting and other things. We can't thank you and Marsee enough, man. We appreciate your time. Appreciate you sharing with us. We love it. If we could ever do anything for you in return, please let us know.
You guys do it every single day. You're doing it, and we love you. You know that, and I can't wait to see you in person next and give you guys both real hugs. But we'll do another air hug.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for your time, Jeff. This was amazing.
My pleasure.
All right, Jeff.
You guys rock. We'll see you later.
We'll talk soon. Bye.